what interests me also as an ideological indicator, how, if we apply, yes, this Lacanian triad, real, symbolic, imaginary, we have the publicity which works at the level of the real, simply referring to, let's call them naively, real properties of an object. Like, I don't know, you want a camera, and they tell you it's so many pixels or whatever, all the real qualities, good picture, good colors, whatever. Then it would be symbolic level, which would be the level of competition, social status. By having this camera, you will impress others, whatever. We should always remember that's the basic lesson of not only Lacan, but generally modern studies of language, that all our social acts, speech acts, but even the way we dress, all apparently real acts, which may be totally utilitarian, are always self-reflexive, in the sense that they declare a certain attitude. Like, if you wear jeans, okay, today it's already neutralized, but 40, 50 years ago, you couldn't only say, I don't care, so I have jeans. If nothing else, with jeans, you signaled, I'm a guy who doesn't really care. You know, even if it's, I don't care, you signal this. Or even nicely, even more nice, you will say, but I need this car only for practical reasons. But for example, I have a friend in Slovenia who is a big doctor, a snob, who has a Land Rover. That's why I mentioned so much Land Rover yesterday. And he is a doctor who lives close to the center of the city, and he goes to the hospital. His job is in the center of the city. So why Land Rover? The idea is Land Rover so that you live authentically, you can drive up the mountains and so on. But he just wants to signal this attitude while he doesn't really practice it. So what I want to say that even when you say, I don't care about social position, I just want to be practical, you signal this. It's already something that you declared. So that would be the second level. And I think that today we are getting the third level, which is the level of imaginary level of your self-experience and so on and so on. The idea is that what we are really buying, when we are buying commodities, is that we are buying certain psychological experiences. For example, the postmodern publicity for the camera would be, with this camera, you will be able to realize your attitude of explorer who wants to discover world in a new way and so on. They will refer to your experiences, so that more and more, as some intelligent people demonstrated, when we are buying objects, we are basically buying experiences, which is why some capitalists even try to sell you directly experiences, which is why we are more and more going in the direction of material instruments being just an appendix to experiences. For example, if I remember in the early days of video, you bought those big boxes video player and you got 3-4 tapes for free. Now it's almost towards the opposite. If you subscribe to a certain network, you can get DVD player for free. You can get them, I got from 25, 30 euros, nothing on. So that, again, the focus is not the material object that you buy. The focus is... For Lacan, phallus is the signifier of castration, quite literally. So, having a phallus means, in the symbolic logic, not at the level of the real, of course, being castrated. What does Lacan mean by this? When Lacan speaks about symbolic castration, we should be careful here. It's not simply symbolic as opposed to the real, in the sense you are really castrated, your member is cut off, you are symbolically castrated, it means just you are castrated in some symbolic way through some metaphoric substitute. For example, I don't know, the Jewish circumcision, or your hair is cut off in some kind of, again, symbolic way. This is not what it is. In what way then you are castrated? One approach would have been precisely through the notion of virtuality. If under castration threat you behave in a certain way to avoid actual castration, you fear it all the time, you abstain from certain acts and so on, this means that the very threat of castration as a virtual threat, never realized, already deeply affects and changes your behavior. This would be one way to conceive symbolic castration, that although it's only a virtual threat, it already has real effects. Your entire identity is changed. You internalized inhibitions. But more radically, when Lacan speaks about signifier, phallus as signifier, he means something different. Imagine a king or a judge. How do they function? A corrupted judge or king is a stupid fat guy. If you abstract from his from all his signs of his power, you see that he's just an ordinary stupid guy. But the moment he, king, judge, or another person of authority, teacher, whoever, the moment he puts on the insignia of power, I don't know, the scepter, crown, whatever, there is then his transformation into a figure of power. All of a sudden, there is an aura of power. Now, here we can see in a simple, nice way how, for Lacan, phallic power and castration are correlated. Because where is here the dimension of castration? Precisely in this radical gap between you as a simple individual and the element which is not you, but something attached to you, external, which confers power on you. It's not you who has power. It's the symbol, the signifier precisely, crown, scepter, whatever, which makes you powerful. So again, in order to exert power, you have to accept this alienation, that it's not you, your power is really out there, in an element which is not originally you, which circulates around, which can be detached from you, and so on and so on. And now, we come here to Lacan's crazy, but I think correct conclusion. It is that in the symbolic sexual economy, phallus functions precisely in the same way. The best way to imagine phallus is not, if you are a man, the innermost center of your body, there where in the moment of orgasm you really are. No, it's something which, metaphorically and literally, sticks out of your body. It's something which, how should I put it, an excess which does not fit into your body. Imagine perceiving phallus as a kind of a royal scepter, something which is attached to you, but it's originally an organ without a body. The original status of phallus is this external moment which decenters you, you are alienated in it, but at the same time you can exert sexual power only through accepting this decenterment. So in this simple way, I think, we can see how many Lacanian notions not only do make sense, but are usually misunderstood by the standard criticism.